Well, they call it the silent killer. But one Anne Arundel County man isn't shy about sharing his personal experience with hypertension.
June, as you know, is Men's Health Month, and WMAR 2 News' Mark Roper explains the best way to protect yourself from hypertension and high blood pressure is to be aware of the risk.
It was January 2019 when this world traveler had a life-changing experience right before his 50th birthday.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning because I just sat up and I felt the ripping in my chest. It didn't hurt, but the pain, I called my son and I said, hey, I think we should call 911 right now because my back is killing me.
Orlando January recalls the pain felt like he had a slipped disc until he told his doctor he also had a leaking sensation inside his body.
That was an aha moment for him that he didn't do an x-ray, but a CT scan. And he put me in there for maybe 5 minutes. I came out and he said, Mr. January, you're in a dire situation. I already called the helicopter. It's on the way. You need emergency surgery.
January was flown to the University of Maryland Medical Center and discovered he had what's called an aortic aneurysm or an aortic dissection.
You have different layers within the aorta and your veins as well. And it split and blood started going through that split. And it could split on the outside, but it just split in the middle in one of the layers and besides the lumen. So that's very, very dangerous.
Hypertension specialist at the University of Maryland Medical Center, Dr. Wallace Johnson, likens hypertension or high blood pressure to a water hose. The tighter you squeeze the nozzle, the higher the water pressure is coming out of the hose. The causes can be environmental, genetic, or hereditary, as well as getting older.
Joints get stiff, blood vessels get stiff. And so when you see a lot of elderly patients, you're going to see patients that come in who have the so-called systolic or top number significantly higher sometimes than the bottom number.
Hypertension is a sustained increase in high blood pressure with anything higher than 130/80 as the number to be concerned. Dr. Johnson points out the head-to-toe warning signs for hypertension starting at the top of the body.
Is do you get a lot of unusual headaches that seem to have no explanation. Sometimes people with really high blood pressure will often get headaches. They'll often be in the rear of the head, for example, which is kind of unusual. For example, most sinus headaches will often be in the front of the head.
Or the familiar warning of chest pains.
Chest pain that seems no other explanation except for potentially something that might be coming from the heart. Shortness of breath when you go up the flight of stairs.
As well as pain down to the toe.
My legs hurt when I have poor circulation in my legs, indicating that the high blood pressure is affecting the blood vessels potentially in your legs.
Those are just a few hypertension warning signs, but Dr. Johnson has one last piece of advice.
When in doubt, check it out.
In Baltimore, Mark Roper, WMAR 2 News.
All right, tomorrow morning on Good Morning Maryland, the patient you just heard from, Orlando January, will share how hypertension has changed his life more than 2 years after it sent him to the hospital.